What is up, everybody? Coming up in this video, Physical Mediumship Development, Mediumship Training. We're going to give you 3 tips on what physical mediumship is and how to develop.
For those of you that do not know us yet, I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
I'm Samuel's Garden.
Yes. Helping people create
badass lives.
Because that's what we do.
So guys, we do have a lot to cover, but first a quick little story about us. When we first started our journey together, we noticed this huge gap in what was being taught in our niche by a lot of people doing the same thing everybody else was doing, kind of cookie cutter gurus. Some people taught
all those cool intuitive techniques without the foundation of self-growth.
And we're like, that's not going to work. Other people taught self-growth without knowing what to do when people kind of broke that ceiling and started opening up their own intuitive skills.
Both groups have a ceiling that lacks that integration. We've filled that gap. And if you stay to the end, we'll show you why that's important for you.
That's kind of been our thing. One of our viewers asked, this is from Georgia B. from South Dakota. Hello, she says, I follow you guys on IG and I am interested in learning about physical mediumship. What is it and how do I do it? I don't know how to start. What do I do to prepare? So if you guys have wondered about this yourselves, you're in the right place. We're going to answer that question. As some of you know, we love like clearing up the mystery around a lot of these woo-gee metaphysical topics. But I want to give you a little setup into what physical mediumship is. First, physical mediumship often includes some of the more impressive phases of mediumship, like full body trance channeling, you know what I mean?
Or impersonation, where it may be possible for certain visual or telekinetic phenomena to occur.
But these phases, what we call phases of mediumship, take a lot more physical energy, which is why it's called physical mediumship.
And we're just going to break it down for you. So that was a setup. Now let's get into it.
So tip number 1, what it is.
By it, we're referring to physical mediumship.
And not the clown that lives in the sewer. So you are always using the energy of your body in any task. So just know that just because it's called physical mediumship doesn't mean that you're not using a level of energy. It just means.
So mediumship is no different. The stages of mediumship arrive in basically this order: mental, motor, and physical. So
mental mediumship, just for a quick rundown, mental mediumship is where you mainly use your mental capacity to tune into the channel where mediumship occurs, plain and simple.
Motor is that bridge between, which begins to use a little bit more of your physical energy.
And physical mediumship is simply the type where the most physical energy is being used. And that's basically, it's pretty simple. So
in these 3 phases, these 3 separate types of mediumship, an increasing amount of physical energy is used. Just be aware, it's like a leveling up. Right.
So, but the 3 types can cross over and can happen all at the same time. But a lot of people are like, I want to do physical mediumship, but you can't really separate the 3 phases.
And also, I want you guys to know that if you have any questions about anything as we go through any of these videos, drop them in the comments. And if we can't get to them on the live, we will get to them on the replays.
So tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is understanding why you want to develop physical mediumship.
So like I said, physical mediumship is like the cool mediumship, but you got to know why you're doing it. So we see a lot of people wanting to jump ahead of the phases. It's like they're not 3 separate disciplines. They're 3 disciplines you develop together, and jump ahead and try to force physical mediumship to develop prematurely.
They want to jump to the cool shit.
You don't want to go premature on us, boys and girls. Not understanding.
Usually that's my job, but today she took it.
I decided to take it.
Yes.
So not understanding that physical mediumship naturally unfolds as you build the stamina, and this is key, of mental and motor mediumship.
That's your foundation.
Along with a foundation of ethics and knowledge about why and how to practice your skills.
If our why is to truly help and heal others through the grief process with the discipline of mediumship, then you won't mind putting in the time it takes to develop and unfold, as it is called in the discipline of mediumship. In the disciples of mediumship. Oh my God. Yeah.
We just came back from family trips, so we're like fried. So in the discipline of mediumship, we call it unfolding. So if you are impatient, And deep down, you really want it for the wrong reasons, because you might not even realize you want it for the wrong reasons.
Ego factor, cool factor of that full body trance channeling,
Right.
some other dog and pony show.
You might do a lot better developing that for like a Vegas magic show instead of helping other people get through their grief process.
Yeah.
So, and also if you try to jump ahead, you might not get the exact results that you had in mind. So, not to be bagging on it, but you really need to develop the stamina like any other discipline. Like if you try to go to pole vaulting before you've learned, to stretch out or to use chopsticks or to jump, then you're going to brain a muscle, right? It's kind of the same thing.
That's what I did there. So the fact is, in mediumship, you don't know how you're going to unfold until you go through the process of building a solid foundation based on mental and emotional stability, physical stamina, and having that solid why until you go through the process the right way.
With any discipline, you want to build the foundation so that when you get to those cool skills at the end, they're on point. So tip number 3 is kind of what happens if you're not spending the time stabilizing the
foundation. The foundation. The thing. If you're not stabilizing the thing, you got a wobbly crap seat.
Don't be wobbly. So when you stabilize your mental and did you just say that on
I did.
I was going on
CNN.
TV, on CNN. Okay, so when you stabilize your mental and emotional faculties, boys and girls, build the foundation of mental and the motor mediumship first, and you really, really understand your why. It's so important for our clients, for our clients to understand your why. You prevent crazy things from potentially happening, and they do. And I've seen it, not with my clients, because my clients are all perfect, but like other people.
So like you start channeling imaginary friends from outer space that tell you to pack up and move to a commune in Costa Rica and book a series of free workshops in libraries across the country to gain acolytes while living out of your van.
You just went full Cletus, honest, guys.
So those of you who don't know Cletus, check out some of those other videos.
So in this case, and I don't know, raise your hand if you've ever seen somebody doing some crazy stuff like that. Like the world, California is going to fall into the ocean. I'm channeling some outer space, Galactic Federation, and we all want to move to a commune in Costa Rica and eat bananas.
Galactic Federation starfish.
Don't do that. So here in this case, you're seeing physical mediumship, because that is physical mediumship. You're using a physical mediumship to bring through a message from another being, in other words. That's one of the cool, so here you're seeing physical mediumship gone wild, like Girls Gone Wild. Namely, what you're seeing is all the unresolved fears, like super manifesting in a big show situation, packed with some really powerful energy behind it, that has very little to do with people healing their grief from a person passing, which is what mediumship is about. Right.
But more to do with what the physical medium's uncomfortable display that becomes those personally unresolved fears. And actually, that's the show. And a desire to run away from life's issues by starting a commune with anyone else that will pack up and get in that van.
But we're just like trying to
stay out of the van. Don't go to the van.
I think the point is don't go get in the van.
Don't get in the van with the
move
crazy
to Costa Rica.
people.
So
no, we're not saying Costa Rica is a bad place.
I like Costa Rica, but just don't move in there because an alien told you to move there and eat bananas. So now it's time for the bonus tip. I hope that made sense to you. I felt like we went to another planet for a minute. So like I said, we just got back from vacation. So give us a little reacclimation into society.
Now it's time for that bonus tip.
So the main goal of mediumship, I think our point is here, though sometimes with mediumship, especially people that want to do physical mediumship, is sometimes you get off the rails a little bit. But the main goal in mediumship, and I'm talking particularly about message mediumship, is to provide the living person who is in grief with a proof of identity that is an evidence of your loved one's continuation beyond, into the great beyond. And this is really
to know that they're good, they're golden, they're safe, everything's good.
And that's it. It's not about you being a magic 8-ball and delivering this great fancy message or your ego. And you got to just check yourself. I think constantly checking your humility, if you're going to practice the discipline of mediumship, is important.
And if your intention is to help this person to process through their grief and to give them validation that their loved one has continued on. 9 times out of 10, that can be accomplished with simple mental mediumship. You don't need to get into the big show of physical mediumship and full body trance channeling just to give them resolution and
I think here's
help with the grief.
Yeah, I think here's the point. When you're developing your skills as a medium, it is important to follow the energy that your particular body is presenting, because you may develop or unfold in an entirely different way than you think you want to. Right. And it might be better than you originally thought. So follow the energy of the way you want to unfold.
Yes.
You know, you may want to develop this discipline and that discipline, but see where your energy wants to go with it, because that's where you're going to receive the best results, the most integrity, and you're going to be able to keep your own ego in check and really help serve the people that are in grief.
Right.
And the reason you got into mediumship in the first place, right?
Yep. If you follow that and build that foundation and release your ego, you can be a better
channel
servant. The servant is fucked up. You can be of better service, like others talking about, right? Of better service. You can do more, you can be more, and you can be more badass than you actually thought you were. If you go into it with the right reasons and with a big enough why. That was the piece that I was missing. If you've got a big enough why, then the implementation of what you want to give to the world and bring to the world is going to be better and more solid, as long as you let go of the big show. So as you explore the techniques of mediumship, have fun, see what happens, remain curious as to what you might really be looking at or really be good at. Okay. Because you don't know what you're good at when you're just starting out.
And like I said, I love helping mediums unfold and develop, because every single one is unique. There are techniques to learn, there are ethics to learn, there's knowledge to learn, but each person is going to unfold in a different and completely unique way. If you try to force it, you're going to sprain a muscle, kids. You're going to sprain a muscle, and you're going to go to crazy town, and you're going to be in your van trying to get people to move to Costa Rica. I think that's the moral of the story. Okay.
Christy says, I find dimes from my mom all the time.
I love that.
2.5 years ago. Is that physical mediumship?
Possibly. Quite possibly, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that would be a version that is called apportation, which is basically moving objects, like move stuff around. So yes, physical mediumship, finding dimes, finding anything that is a confirmation from your loved one that they're hanging out, they're watching over you. Mostly it's the message from the loved one, and it could be physical mediumship, but that's kind of getting into what's what. The message behind it may be, hey, I'm looking out for you. Hey, I'm good. And it's most likely just a message to say, hey.
Yeah. So finding a physical object like that would be physical mediumship, because some energy's got to move.
And then she says, literally, one just jumped out of my pocket yesterday. Absolutely.
I think those things are really beautiful. I really do. And that's what mediumship is about. It's about continuing that connection with our loved ones and having that peace that they go on. And also, you know what, that in a very selfish way, it helps us have a peace that we go on.
Yeah.
Like we're just not going to be snuffed out and then we don't exist. So,
absolutely.
And that there's somebody waiting for us on the other side.
Yes.
So that's what it's about, really. So I think a lot of our clients are developing mediumship and other things, but that's the key to remember, is that you're there to bring peace to people and to yourself.
Right. And she also says, it's mostly with decisions. Was looking at an assisted living home for my stepdad. I was in the parking lot. Absolutely. That would be more confirmation, more of the message. So look at the message underneath the physical mediumship. Look at the message of it. Adrian says, I've definitely noticed certain readings are more physically draining than others.
Right.
Absolutely. And that probably means you're using more of your physical mediumship.
And I would say just see how you unfold, because things might manifest. If you're feeling more physical energy is coming through, take care of yourself, do as good as you can for your health, and see what unfolds after that, because you really don't know what might unfold.
Right. And then Aaron says, dear signs, unless you're giving me a map with directions, I mean, come on, really. If there's not a significant, and that's a great point. If there's not a significant message in the action, the thing that's happening, let go. let go. Because if it's an actual message or direction or sign, follow the sign and it will come back again. It'll come back in another way to where it gets to be big enough that you know you're not just making it up. Like the dimes that Christy was talking about, that's a big sign that continues to happen over and over and over again. That's guiding you in a better direction or the right direction.
There's a pattern.
All right, so you guys just learned what physical mediumship is. We've learned that self-growth and developing your intuition for a badass life go hand in hand together like sushi and Sapporo.
So what do you guys need to get started? A solid foundation with real tips, which is why you're watching this right now and not some bullshit hype. I said bullshit.
Over and over again.
From the cookie cutter stuff that
Right.
keeps regurgitating.
So where are you on your self-growth journey?
That's what we want to know.
If you're just starting, we invite you to join our intuitive training for beginners.
Absolutely free to join. We would love for you to come on over there.
You could level up to C.Ht Academy. This is where we teach our advanced courses for the professional or those that want to level up their intuitive skills and self-growth.
So that's kind of the place where we hang out and teach. So even if your goal is not to pursue a career in the intuitive arts, intuition is an important part of making the right decisions for your life. Right. And plus with the C.Ht Academy, which is our kind of main teaching platform, you get all the past courses with your membership. So if you miss one.
And all of the future courses too.
They're all there. So if you're ready to get into our inner circle for that and start working with us right now, click that link in the description and join us. So guys, if you liked this video, hit the like button.
If this video helped you in any way, share with a friend.
If you guys have any questions, like we said before, leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. That is how we make future videos.
Yes. For more badass life tips,
be sure to subscribe
and click the bell to turn notifications on.
So you're the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource. And the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that not only with us, but also leveling up your skills, we absolutely honor and appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching.
You guys have a great day and we will see you in the next video.